Hi everybody, I'm Shivam Chamoli, Unity ID SCHAMOL, and the goal for today is to automatically provision a machine on DigitalOcean and AWS. Both are public cloud providers, and I'll just what I've done here till now is I've cloned my repository, and if you see, I have directory structures for both of them, and this is the repository that I've created, and I'll follow the steps from this. And so basically, I'll start off by showing you my DigitalOcean dashboard, and as you can see, there are no droplets in this. And what I'm going to start is I'll create a token for myself and use that token to basically create droplets. Okay, so now what I'll do is basically just run node main.js, and yeah, so as you can see, it prints out my token, so that means everything is set correctly on this. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead into the main.js, and we'll start off by creating a droplet. I've already given the specific region, um, and the name that we should use to create the droplet, and the image also, so we don't need to run the rest of the commands that are above it. So we'll just go ahead and create a droplet. So as you can see, right now I have no droplets on my dashboard. So when I go, you can see a droplet got created, and when I refresh it, you can see a droplet. And I'll just copy this ID, and what I'll do is I'll replace this with the droplet ID and try and get the IP for the droplet. Again, what I'll do is I'll just run node main.js, because that is actually just compiling our main.js and then running it. So I get the IP, and just to make sure that we can reach this, I'll just ping this IP address, and there you go, we're getting a response from this. So this droplet is definitely reachable. And one more thing that I forgot to tell you guys was that I've already created an SSH key in the security region, and what I've done while creating a droplet is I've I've given the ID of that SSH key, so that I can log into that machine without any problems, without any need for a password. And how I got this ID was a simple curl call to the API of DigitalOcean, and this is how I got my ID. And another thing that we can do is send the fingerprint of the SSH key that we have, and the fingerprint we can locate here. But one thing that we need to do is we need to send it as an array of strings. Okay, so that's great. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and so I found out the IP of my droplet, and that was this, and I showed you by pinging. I'll do that again, so we can see that it's reachable. Now what I'll do is I'll try and SSH into it with the with the public key that I had registered, and I'll SSH into it with the private key that I have. So that is in my SSH folder. Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll use the root user and just go ahead and paste the. So as you can see, I have logged in into I have logged in into the I have been I've successfully SSH'd into the droplet. So like you can see it's empty. So that's great. So I can SSH into it. That's great. One more thing that we can do with this is just you know delete delete the droplet. So I'll again just go ahead node main.js and the droplet is deleted. If I go ahead into my droplets, yeah, we can see that the droplet is deleted. So that's great. So it's working correctly, and that's all from the DigitalOcean perspective. And now what I'll do is I'll try and do the same thing with AWS, create an EC2 instance, um, ping into it and SSH into it. And there are a couple of important things that we need to do here before starting that. Is one of the things is that you need to have a file called configure in your AWS folder in your home directory, or yeah, you can use the AWS CLI provided by AWS to create that configure file, or you can create it manually, or you can just set your environment variables, which consist of your login credentials. So I've already done that, so I don't need to do it, but you guys might have to. So I'll just go into my AWS folder, and as you can see, for me to SSH into any instance that I'm creating, I'll have to create a .pem file, which is a key, and I'll have to associate that instance with it. So I have three files over here, and before running any of these three files, you should run pip install -r requirements.txt. That will bring in all the hard dependencies of this project. And I haven't put in AWS CLI because it's not a hard dependency, and you can easily just export the variables in your terminal. So what I'll do first of all is I'll show you guys what uh, create key pair does. So create key pair basically it what it does is it creates a .pem file, and it saves it in the same directory that we have here, and also like creates it to my account, to the credentials that were given uh, by me. And when I run it, you'll see that right now that I don't have any key pairs, but when I'll run this, one more thing, make sure you have Python 3 installed. So what I'll do is I'll just create a key pair, and if you get this kind of an output, that's great. It's your private key, and that means the key got generated. So if I just look into the folder now, you can see we have keypair.pem, and yeah, so that's great. And if I see here, this should get updated. Yeah, so I have the key pair, and you can see I have no running instances right now. And what I'm gonna do is I'll show you the code for creating instances. So it's a pretty simple code. What I've done is I've used the documentation as a reference, and what I've done is I've created a VPC, and I've created a subnet and a security group, so that I can easily SSH into my instance. And then what I've done is I've used the create instances command to basically create just one instance of type t2 micro and this image ID. and I'll just run that. So Python 3 space. So as you saw, we had no instances at that time, and now you can see we're generating the VPCs, subnets, security groups, and it takes a little bit of time to come up, but yeah, you can see that it's now coming up. So what's really important is that we provide the right credentials in the configure file of the AWS directory, and or either through the terminal, and till the time it comes online, I'll show you the code for deleting the instances. So what I've done is I just pull in all the instances for the credentials that are there, and just terminate those instances. So that happens. Now we see that our instance is running. All I need to do is, first of all, change the permissions of keypair.pem, because right now it's a very the permissions are really open, and we don't want everybody using our keypair.pem and creating their own instances. So we'll do this. That's great, and all I need to do is just run this command, and this should let me SSH into my user. That's great. So we can see that it's empty. So that's great. So I've successfully managed to SSH into um, my instance, and what I'll do, one more thing is I'll just show you guys by deleting this. So there you go. If I just refresh it, you'll see the status updating. So it's shutting down, and it will happen on its own. So that's all from my side. This was code for creating a server on both cloud providers, DigitalOcean and Amazon AWS, by and SSHing into the two servers through the SSH key that you created. Thank you.